Conflict and peace building. Many people associate the word conflict with negative things like fighting and war. While conflicts can indeed be very serious and result in great suffering, they can also be minor and trivial, like a disagreement with your bhai brother over the color of a wall. Conflict is merely a difference in opinion. Conflicts can have negative implications. It can also serve as a driving force for transformation and are a crucial element in shaping our perception. Our perspective with conflict shape our identities and influence the development of values and opinions regarding international relation or structure. Conflict is an enduring aspect of state, and states hold differing perspectives on it. Some thinkers regard conflict as something negative that should be avoided at all costs. Others view it as a phenomenon that requires management. Some thinkers consider conflict as a thrilling chance for states' improvement and strive to leverage it to their advantage. Conflict is not always bad and can actually be helpful for states by promoting open-mindedness and preventing earlier conformity. It's important to know how to handle conflicts well so that it can be a positive force instead of a negative one. However, unresolved conflicts can hurt relation and transaction trade and commerce of the state. It's important to channel conflict energy in a positive way. States usually see conflict as something negative that hinders the achievement of states' goals. However, conflict can also have positive effects, depending on the type of conflict. Conflict can lead to better decisions, greater participation in discussions, and stronger international unity. There are 5 positive or beneficial aspects of conflict. Conflict contributes to international change, ensuring both interstates and global dynamics remain fresh and reflective of current interests and realities. Conflict serves to discourage premature states' decision-making, forcing participants in the decision-making process to explore the issues and interests at stake. Conflict allows for the reconciliation of the parties' concerns, which can lead to an agreement benefiting both parties' needs and often their international relation. Conflict strengthens intra-states unity by providing an outlet for state members to discuss and negotiate their interests in the international ambit. Conflict between states produces intra-state unity as the conflict provides the opportunity for increased intra-state cooperation while working towards the state's common goal for the conflict's outcome. Despite most conflicts being resolved peacefully with positive outcomes, conflict has definite negative and sometimes even severe consequences. Conflict can take people's attention away from their primary goals, which means they may have less resources for other things. When conflict is very intense, it can cause state to use a lot of time and resources, and this can affect not only the state in the conflict but also others who are not involved in it. They may have to focus on the conflict instead of their other needs. Conflict can have both short-term and long-term effects on the physical and psychological perspective of the states involved in or affected by the conflict. Conflict can lead to collective dilemma, which lead to chosen dilemma and can be transmitted to future generations in the form of resentment against one's ancestors' enemies. Chosen dilemma gives rise to state's ego, identity, and keeps the flame of conflict burning. Conflicts are inevitable. Now we can discuss 1. Conflict management. Refer to the limitation, mitigation and containment of conflict, rather than the durable elimination of the causes of conflict. Conflict management strategies are the use of military force for deterrence or peacekeeping, separating the conflict parties from each other so that they do not keep inflicting harm on each other. 2. Conflict resolution is a way to solve problems by working together with the people involved in the conflict. It involves finding and fixing the root causes of the conflict and changing the way states act and think to prevent violence and hostility. It also involves changing any unfair systems that cause the conflict in the first place. The process of conflict resolution includes becoming aware of a conflict, diagnosing its nature and applying appropriate methods in order to diffuse the negative emotional energy involved. Resolve the differences so as to achieve solutions that are not imposed, which have been agreed by all the key parties, and which address the root causes of the conflict. 3. Conflict transformation refers to the longer-term and deeper structural dimensions of conflict resolution. It would aim to transform a conflict from security dilemma and destruction into a confidence-building or constructive force which produces international change, progressively removing or at least reducing the conditions from which the conflict and security threat have arisen, and also promote confidence-building mechanisms that reduce and ultimately eliminate security threat, foster structures that meet state interest, and maximize participation of state in decisions that affect them. Now come to the peace building. Before going to this, firstly, what is peace? Peace is a lack of conflict and freedom from security threat between heterogeneous states. Context IR. Peace building is an intervention that is designed to prevent the start or resumption of war, conflict by creating a sustainable peace. Peace-building activities address the root causes or potential causes of war, create a global expectation for peaceful conflict resolution and stabilize states politically and socio-economically, and also address underlying international structure and international and global issues. Peace building is the process of solving conflict in peaceful process and respectful way. It creates a confidence-building mechanism and lasting environment for peace to prevail. Brings together disagreeing parties or enemies. Prevents conflict before it starts. Reduces or eliminates attack and war. Helps international community heal and move forward. Also shared responsibility among all member states. Peace-building efforts to manage, mitigate, resolve and transform central aspects of the conflict through official diplomacy, as well as through civil society peace processes and informal dialogue, negotiation and mediation. Thanks to subscribe at Political Science JRF.